the elderly living in dignity, kids with safe places to go, mentors teaching, free medical care, good food for the hungry, clinical pastoral care, following your spiritual journey, and sharing your memories, and even your part in seeing that eternity is a place of peace. These are all part of your wider ministries, fully or partially funded by the diocese, often with the congregation's amazing ministry, but always with your support, your love, and your dedication. After all, you are the diocese. They are dynamic ministries that often operate quietly outside of our Sunday worship, and often without many of us even knowing that they exist. Sure, we all probably know about some of the very visible diocesan ministries, such as our great Camp Tuttle. This video is to show those ministries we all do, as the diocese, that are in the shadows, but are so very much alive, truly the Lord's work.
Ministries that impact the lives of people outside of our church as well as inside of our congregations. Ministries of great compassion, healing, and mission that change lives for so very many people in our diocese, in the larger community of the state of Utah, and in Arizona.
These are the community-wide ministries that are in our DNA. Bishop Tuttle arrived in Utah on a hot day in 1867. And after a hot bath from the dusty trail, he immediately started community ministries for all, most notably schools and a hospital he called St. Mark's. We have never forgotten that. Every bishop since then has embraced it, and the diocese still maintains a chaplaincy and now a nationally known clinical pastoral care education program.
I really believe and feel the ancestors in the Episcopal Church. So they're still there for me, and they do wander the hall. And actually, it's Tuttle who has 2 pictures in the hospital. Many people remark actually on Bishop Watson's statement when they walk in, it's right there on the stone. It said, "Built to the glory of God and the care of all peoples."
And still see spiritual care as a vital ministry.
It's not about talking. I don't do much talking. It is mostly about listening, and really listening to what soul issues are for people and be a good soul buddy.
It is more than just care for patients. The hospital workers often seek spiritual help, including this, the blessing of the hands.
The spiritual aspect of healthcare is central. Many nurses tell me that they're there to be nurses, to serve, to care for people. They have, in some sense, the same sense of calling to be nurse, spiritual calling, a higher calling, as I do as a priest.
The corporation of the bishop sold the hospital a quarter century ago. Much of those proceeds now fund the diocesan ministries and grants that carry on Bishop Tuttle's inspired work. It's work as simple as having a table where seniors can talk and the Reverend Susan Toon can listen.
I come to listen, and I come to listen to their stories. We kind of start with, how was your week and what's going on with you?
The place is St. Mark's Mill Creek, one of the 5 senior residence facilities that the diocese owns. It's more than a residence. The Reverend Toon knows that residents are often widows wanting to talk.
If I'm in a funky mood, I can come down here and brings me right out of it, and then I torture them with my humor.
Sure, men are allowed at the table of memories, but the last man to visit the table got more than he may have wanted.
We got to talk and forgot he was here, and we ended up talking about braziers. Poor man.
Gardening is a special ministry at several of the homes. In the downtown St. Mark's Towers garden, it seems the Lord was partial to tomatoes and those that grew up in the South.
The good Lord smiles on your garden, and He has certainly smiled on mine all the way from North Carolina.
Diocesan funds, St. Mark's Hospital, and the Danville Corporation, which manages the building, are also funding a program where a geriatric physician now visits the residents at St. Mark's Tower.
This is Dr. Gahari. And Dr. Gahari is excited to be with you.
I'm very much happy to, if I can help with any of, those medical problems that makes a limitation to come to our clinic. I'm going to be here for 2 times a month for half a day.
Because it's all about people and ministry. Of course, no one has to be an Episcopalian to live here or take part in the ministry. It's for all. The Episcopal Diocese Senior Housing Program started under Bishop Charles decades ago, and kind of as a miracle when our diocese had little or no money, or really knowledge on how to run a building. Art Woolston answered Bishop Charles' call to volunteer.
And I wound up being the president of that because nobody else wanted to do it.
And yes, a miracle of sorts.
We had to come up with, like $20,000 or something. But that was then returned after a number of years, so that the church essentially got that building for nothing. And it was exciting to be able to do that. And we went on and did the next one, and then the next one.
That ministry quickly spread from Salt Lake City to Ogden.
Union Gardens was formed by the union in Ogden, and they were afraid of the financial liability because they were losing membership. And they asked us, what should we do? And I said, well, let's give it to the Episcopal Church. Okay. So we was probably a $3 million building for $10,000 down. And that money was returned.
Art Woolston's leadership led to Danville Development, which now runs the Episcopal properties under contract to the diocese. His daughter, Lisa Jones of St. James, is the president. She hopes those in the diocese know there are hundreds of people in apartments in our homes.
I hope that there's some pride in that from being an Episcopalian and know that the Episcopal Church is one of the largest housers of seniors in Utah. I am amazed every time I go to the different properties and I'm visiting with residents how many times a resident will come up to me and hold my hand and just say, thank you, dear. Thank you for providing this housing, because I don't know where else I'd be living.
Housing is one of the basic needs, just like food. For that, we visit St. George and a scene that goes on 4 days a week at our Grace Church. Here, Diocesan Episcopal Community Services is the umbrella group for this ministry. It is the soup kitchen. They will serve an average of 100 people a day with hot meals. The ministry has become a model for what can happen if all come together. These volunteers taking their turn in the Grace Church kitchen come from an LDS ward. Dozens of faith traditions, businesses, schools, and just plain caring people are now involved, all taking turns to make food in the Grace kitchen.
We're from the Treasure Valley ward.
And why do you come down here?
We want to be of service.
That in itself is a blessing. For a long time, we've seen too much of one church versus another.
Since the Grace Church has been able to, they have opened it up and created almost a community of different types of churches that are all working towards that common good. I think it's built the relationships between what in the past has been, this is your church and this is my church and never the two shall touch.
Not only has it closed that perception, it's opened up different avenues for cooperation.
It is like running a restaurant. The Utah Food Bank arrives and Sue Ann Roberts starts planning menus weeks in advance.
Okay, I'll take 5 dozen eggs.
It's all about not just food, but good food. The back room at Grace holds what will become the best meal many will have to eat. The first of an average of 100 hungry people will arrive at about 11:45. Each wave of people will be determined by the city bus schedule. It's also a place of conversation, a place where those who are often alone are with others who want to hear from them. That is also a vital part of the ministry.
Oh, absolutely. Our guests it's a real social interaction for them as well. And we have co-directors who a lot of times who are here often also, who know a lot of the stories. You know, yeah, there's a lot more than just the food.
We want you to enjoy your meal.
Thank you very much.
Even those who want to take a meal out will go with knowing there's another person who cares. They will get a box that was decorated for them by a school child with a happy message and a drawing just for them. There are no questions asked, no restrictions, no ID, just a welcome.
How important it is that everyone be welcome, period. No politics, no religion, no reason that they cannot be fed. If you're hungry, come eat.
It is important that the modern church knows that it is here to do the Lord's work for the wider community, not just for its members.
We remember that God's work in this world, to which we have been called, is not just meant for us. It is meant for all people. And so the Diocese of Utah has a very long and proud history of serving in the larger community as a means of being the hands and feet and hearts of Christ for the entire community at large.
We must look past the fancy houses and golf courses in a place such as St. George and see the people in the shadows who hardly survive on the hard work that they find.
It's a service-oriented community of $7 to $10 an hour jobs. The cheap rent here can be anywhere from $600 to $700 a month for an apartment.
But also ministries such as these are for those who volunteer.
What we get from the soup kitchen is this blessing beyond words that our business life and our social life could never fill. The things that happen here give us a sense of spirituality that we lacked in our life for many, many years.
It's a ministry where Grace Church members pour out their hearts. The community responds, and the diocese is honored to support.
One, it has given me a reason to give back. I am so blessed. I'm blessed with a wonderful wife, kids, blessed with the life that many people can only dream about. I'm blessed to have found a church where I'm accepted with all my flaws.